TheOptionMillionaires.com on the second trading week of 2018. It's a Monday. It's about 20 minutes before the opening bell, January 8th. It's going to be less than that, probably the opening bell before this video gets posted. If you look at S&P 500 futures, NASDAQ futures, a little bit lower. They're down over 0.1%. But if you look after the closing bell on Friday, we had a big move up. As such, if you look at the closing bell, futures are actually a little bit higher if you relate it to where the price of the NASDAQ and S&P 500 were at the closing bell on Friday. Again, the trend remains to the upside. If you look going back, we had a terrible start to the year in 2016. Really started just before the end of 2015. And it didn't stop until the middle of February. And ever since then, it's just been a really robust market. These dips have become fewer and farther between to where actually towards the end of 2017, the market has morphed from what it's been really since the lows of March 2009, a buy the dip environment to almost a buy the rip environment. Where these dips are getting bought up quicker and quicker to where this market really not pulling back, as evidenced by the move that we saw last week. Just an amazing start to the year, really contrast to the start of the year that we saw in 2016. We were putting up just amazing moves in some of the individual names for this market. If you look at Boeing, some of the aerospace stocks, I mean, look at this move we've had up just in the last year and a half for a stock like Boeing, which down at the lows of 2009 was a $23 stock, up over 308. This morning it's at 309. We have Lockheed Martin, a similar type move. We have Northrop Grumman. These are all government, rely heavily on government contracts. And you can see it's flagging here. Northrop Grumman upside continues. Why fight this trend? You can look at stocks that have broken out of the wedge over the last 12 months. How about LendingTree? Talked about this at the start of 2017. If you look at this wonderful wedge pattern it broke out of at the end of 2016, it's been up every single month since. Heavy short interest, and those back in May of 2017, they sold a massive amount of convertible debt with some warrants. Well, those people are doing just fabulous as the stock has roared to the upside. Convertible debt way in the money as well as the warrants. Another stock that has broken out of a wedge started in the fall of last year. Overstock, what a huge move to the upside. Analyst out this morning, upgrading the stock, raising the price target to $110 with a possible 200 plus target. Longer term, some other stocks that have broken out of just some beautiful wedge patterns. How about Baidu twice? I remember the start of last year kind of fooled us a couple times. It was ready to break out of the wedge, didn't, and then finally when it did, look at it move to the upside, just like it did back in the start of 2013. Now it's consolidating again. We're getting kind of a similar pattern to what we saw in the middle of 2014 before it broke out again to 240. So we're consolidating here. I'm expecting another move to the upside for Baidu. Sister Baba, new all-time highs. Actually, you can extend this flag across. Breaking out looks like 200 is coming for Baba. And then also Baba is going to go Facebook, new all-time highs last week. You remember it was respecting this support line, has broken away. It's like the training wheels came off at the end of 2016, started 2017 for Facebook, and now looks poised for 200. Google has just been a steady grind. I mean, just look at this grind to the upside for Google. Take a closer look maybe over the 5-year, and you get to see just a slow, deliberate move to the upside, and breaking out to new all-time record highs on Friday. Also, Amazon continues to move, and if you look at this flagging pattern, as we broke the highs last week, looks bullish for new all-time record highs again this week. Now, if you look at S&P 500 futures, let's look at the SPY, and you look from a long-term chart perspective, you can see the breakout that we had back in 2013. If you draw a trend line across from 2000 to 2007, the financial crisis, and we finally broke out in 2013. Well, if you look at XLF, a similar type breakout, except you move the years up. If you draw a trend line across from the financial crisis to where we broke out just this past year, it was in the August, September months of last year. Look at the breakout we've had ever since. And now if you compare this breakout to the breakout we have for the S&P 500 in 2013, this implies possibly more years of upside for the financials, where the XLF and financials are taking the baton from the market and going to help lift the market to more repeated highs in 2018 and possibly beyond. Some charts to look at. U.S. Steel, I think, is going to continue to break out. You draw a trend line across, it's right on the cusp of a breakout. Could see 50 plus in the next couple months. So you look at STLD, Sister Steel stock has already broken out to new all-time record highs out of this flag that I pointed out about a month and a half ago. And if you look at some other stocks, possibly to to trade for upside. We have CF, CF breaking out, and you can see the highs that we saw at the middle of 2015. I think there's a possible chance we could eclipse that heading into the summer. We have Mosaic, which I think is going to break to the upside. You can see momentum is just starting to turn. Look for a move back into the 30s in the next couple weeks for MOS. And then some of the names I like, 3D Systems, which broke out at the start of last year. You can see this breakout we had turned some penny options into dollars. I could think we could see a similar move as DDD 3D Systems moves back into the teens. All right, I'm running out of time here. The market's going to open soon. I'll see everyone in the chat room if I have any trades. If you're going to trade something for downside, I'm already in some puts for STMP. Stamps.com, I think it's running out of momentum. You can see the momentum just got triggered for a sell to the downside. There's a lot really to chew on here. I know the bears have been on it since it was in the 40s and the 50s, and it's actually done the exact opposite. I think Trump coming out last week or the week before talking about the cost for the Postal Service. Stamps really skims a lot of profits off the U.S. Postal Service, so that's something to watch for. But anyway, there's some puts here, and from a technical perspective, looks like momentum starting to run out, and we'll see if we get the move under 180. All right, UPBOptionMillionaires.com. I'll see you in the chat room. Have a great trading week.